So I want to give you this analogy for trying to train hard, pushing through pain during injury. It's kind of corny, but the analogy is, imagine you have person A and person B in a competition of who's going to chop down the most lumber, the most wood. They both have axes and they both have an hour to get it done. Person 1 spends every single second slamming away at the wood, just grinding it out. No second to waste. Scarce. Gotta get it going. Person 2 spends the first 20 minutes seemingly resting, chilling out, just wasting time, so it looks like. And after the hour, to everyone's surprise, person 2 has twice as much wood chopped. And it's like, how does that even make sense? You were chilling the first half. How could you get more done? And now the twist of the story that makes the whole thing come round is that person 2 spent the first 20 minutes seemingly resting, but sharpening the axe to become the most efficient wood chopper they could be for the next 40 minutes. And so that kind of analogy of accepting the time to sharpen your tool, sharpen your axe, as we'll go with it, is way more valuable than the lost time you could be using grinding it out on a dull axe that's just getting worse and worse. And so in application of this, with a low back rebuild in your body, the axe is your low back, or your super tight hips, or your super stiff shoulders, or your super sensitive whatever that you are working around, and you keep trying to get gains, and you keep trying to get stronger, and you keep trying to get in the best shape of your life, but you have pain the next 2 days every single time, and it's this achiness that you're just ignoring, that you're trying to work around and find better machines, right? That's person A trying to waste no second because I gotta win. So that kind of mentality is scarce in nature, and it neglects the fact that we're not just trying to get the most done, we're trying to get the best done. And a lot of times, that requires a period of looking like you're just chilling and sitting and just sharpening the tool. And what people I'm looking is like, dude, you don't look like you've been lifting the same. Dude, I thought your strength PRs were coming, even if it's your inner critic telling you that. When in reality, you're not just chilling, you're sitting there refining, and you're working on the weak links that have been holding you back. So that way, when it's time to go and hit PRs, chop wood, you got strength that doesn't make sense. It's like, wait, how did you just get back to sprinting and you just ran a PR off of no sprint training? That's what happened to me. And when I was running 400s in college, I was slow. I was still fresh off of the years of injuries with my knee. But my PR was like 54 seconds. And then I got shin splints that led to stress fractures. I was out for more years. My back hurt, disc herniations, my back issues, the SI joint, my hips. And then a little bit over a year ago, off of zero sprint training, really, I wasn't running for about 6-7 months. I went out to a track meet completely out of shape and ran a 52 high, a 53. And I PR'd in a track event off of zero sprinting. That's like hitting a new bench PR off of no benching. No heavy barbell work whatsoever. And all I spent the past couple years with was this refinement of working on my strength through length and working on my active range of what I could actually contract with that single leg hip flexor raise, being able to get my knee and leg extended that high, and then working on the stretch through the split squat of the backside and the couch stretch. When I went to sprint, I could unlock more. My potential was higher, even if I was out of shape. And so you can apply that exactly, tangibly, to whatever your thing is. Whether that's a sport, whether that's a type of lifting, whatever it is. If you work diligent and faithfully to just sharpen your axe and not be anxiety driven during the process, you can come back to PRs from less lifting than before. And you can come back to PRs of a better physique with less training than before, if the quality gets better. How do we make the quality better? Not grinding through pain and trying to make up for it in volume. If you know you can't handle heavier lifting or heavier intensities or slower reps or deeper ranges, how do you still get a good workout in? A shit ton of volume. When I couldn't do the lifts like I'm about to do today, and I couldn't front squat really intense and pause at the bottom, my knees were cooked, how did I work around my shitty knees? A ton of leg press. It didn't even give me the same results of half the work on more high quality movements. with ownership. And so apply it however you need. But the takeaway for today is don't look at this as a setback. It's actually probably the best thing you could do for your overall potential is sharpening your axe. And that's what we're doing. You're not chilling, you're not waiting, we got work to be done. This isn't a vacay. You working on your back and going from the ground up, from your feet to your ankles to your knees, everything in between, all the way up to the spine. That's a big ass journey. You got enough on your plate. Please don't ask me, can I also do hang clean? You don't need to right now. If you are fresh in this, you have so much work to do to sharpen that axe, and then once you're good, then you get to do more of the stuff, maybe like I'm showing in these vlogs. This is just a transparent behind the scenes of my training and working out further levels of the program. I don't want people to feel like they got FOMO or missing out. They're like, why am I not doing seated mornings? Because your back is shit. It's shit. Stop asking that. And I got empathy for it because I understand. But everything comes on these levels that build up into compound movements. But before you do that, you got to do your holds. And I still do my holds. And so today is going to be a back extension heavy day. I'm on year 4 of training back extension like this. So when I have 100 pounds on my neck and you're like, that sounds stupid, that doesn't look right, understand that it got there from what you're currently doing of just iso holds and then small reps and then full reps and then a year of just pumping it up body weight and then lightweight. And so spend that time sharpening the axe. You're going to get back better than even before. It's time better spent than just trying to find consolation prizes and grinding painfully. So let's go do it. Feel a little tired. You know, when the warm-up sets aren't feeling like warm-up, like today might be tough. Sometimes it ends up better than you think. So I just know that both Eddie and Jordan are feeling sick, lightheaded, faint, like little headaches, stomach. Maybe I will be sick, who knows? I'm not tripping. Oh my. Sled went all right. I'm just like a baby deer learning to walk again. A little dizzy. Didn't really eat much today, so blood sugar on the low. Last week I did holds, this week I'm doing reps. What's up, bro? How are you?
Good, a little leg day?
Yeah, yep. Got a DM from someone saying, I know you get a ton of questions about the program, but do you also have people, kind of worded it crazy, but do you have people doing this also with short pedicles symptoms? That's a new one, I'm not gonna lie to you. Googled it, short pedicles, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, a condition where the bony sides of the vertebrae are shorter than normal, leading to a narrow spinal canal and potential nerve compression. So it's like congenital stenosis, basically. So transparently, I've never heard of that term before now. But when it comes to spinal stenosis, whether progressive and degenerative or congenital, maybe in this situation, born with it, people have made progress regardless. Here's my baseline realities of life with a spine. It's like, if you're going to walk around the earth as a living human being, whether your spine was born with scoliosis, or was born with narrowing, spinal stenosis, or it's perfectly spaced in the disc height, you got hydration, everything's healthy, you have to live and use your spine no matter what, just to stand and walk. So no matter what, saying, is it safe to fill in the blank, use my spine with this condition, you don't have a choice, you have to. So when it comes to training your spine though, what's the threshold of safe or not? It's just individual to every single person. And you could put guidelines of what's a never do for this person or what is a always green light for someone else. But even then, it's a guess. And you're never gonna know until you actually go and start slowly and give yourself a 6-month time frame to just gently introduce it and see what's the response. And so my oversimplified answer, which of course is not black and white true, is that if you have a spine, it's safe to do something like an iso hold assisted, or even if you walk out your feet and you're holding up from your chest and you're just using isometric strength of like 30% of your body weight. How much more weight is on my lumbar muscles doing that versus sitting in a chair? It's not that much more. So again, if you have a spine, you have to use your spine. So if you have a spine, whether it's degenerated or congenital issues and it's malformed for whatever reason, training it to the right amount just doesn't seem like a bad idea. What's the right amount? You're gonna have to be your own back expert for that reason. So yeah, man, to answer your question, are there people in the program with spinal stenosis? Absolutely. Do some of them run into trouble jumping in day one? Yeah. Have lots of them come and made lots of progress over a year and be able to do the things that other people can't on their spine? Yep. So I don't know what the journey is gonna exactly be like for you, but starting in the direction, even if it's these seated iso holds for a minute in a chair, on a machine, slow reps, it's just a continuation of life, of standing, sitting, walking, your spine is in use. So I would give you encouragement to start slow and steady and see. Entertainment purposes, no medical advice. Almost did it to myself. So,
Are you doing back extensions or 45s?
back extensions.
Back extensions?
What do you mean? Between, what's the difference? 45 back extension?
Like a 45, like a hip hinge. Like a,
Specifically like back extension. Yeah, I'm trying to get the lumbar involved. Yeah, you do those?
No, I was just wondering because I've seen like, I didn't really see what you were doing, but I've heard like 45 is super good for hamstrings. I don't know. I'm just doing like RDLs right now. Honestly.
Yeah, bro. I used to alternate one day a week really hard RDLs and one day a week there. Especially go like, and go like single leg, and you hold a plate, 'cause that way you overload the hamstring compared to your back. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good one. If you even do like just empty barbell, try to get like 15 reps, single leg. It's a good change up from RDLs, I feel like.
I only really do RDLs like once a week right now.
It's enough, you do them hard.
Yeah,
you know?
I've been doing that, bro. I've been doing them on the belt squat, so it's like kind of it's like a straight bar in the belt squat. It's kind of like a table thing. It's like I really like it. I know some people don't like it, but it's like
never tried it.
Put me on it. It's pretty nice.
They got some machines here, bro. Some good shit for real. What's your name?
Ronan.
Ronan and Brendan. Nice to meet you, bro. Yeah, I'll see you around. I wouldn't recommend racking it the way I'm doing. There's not a lot of room, that ledge. I'd move it more forward. Ooh. But I'm doing these back extensions now, kind of like y'all see me do the back squat sets of doing high sets, low reps. 1 to 3, really slow, controlled. It's like a good introduction back to heavy weight. I've done this exact weight like a month ago for maybe 8 reps, I believe. This is 105. And so I take something I could do for like 8 to 10 reps and then just do sets of 3. Really build up some tempo and time in that, some slow tempo. And just a lot of focus. The time under tension is good. You treat every set like your masterpiece because you're not rushing through it to hit a high rep. After a few months of it feeling good and adding little incremental plates, I might go through and do some higher reps again, but it's how I like to get back to heavier weight once I've done the brutal high rep sets. Body weight, empty barbell you should be doing well before you get weight on the bar. Remember from the time you showed me the crazy ass shit?
Yeah.
What is it?
Whatever.
Nice, bro.
Whatever you got.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. I'll shoot you a message, yes, sir. Remember seeing his page one time. J Laser Video. JLASER Video. He invents some crazy ass shit. I'm pretty sure one of his was in like a Marvel movie recently. Just if you're bored to check it out. I want to go heavier, but I'm gonna abide to my rule of making my 90% my masterpiece. Instead of trying to touch 95%, 100%, keep it within the realm of doable and make it my masterpiece. Literally have to remind myself every day. Oh boy. So I'm squeezing my glutes to try to lock it out, but it's a pretty equal effort for my low back and glutes. Say from out of the bottom, I go slow as I can in a hinge until I can't. I let my upper body go and my head to the ceiling. The first bit of it is low back. And then once my back's flat, the back has to work isometrically. And it's really glutes and hamstrings finishing. Still your back for sure, but that's why even when you start doing partial reps after going from holds and you just hinge, people train this, like I used to call it the hip extension. You're using the back a little bit more because of the momentum, but it's still just isometric back iso hold. So that was redundant as fuck. It's still an isometric back hold. So it's not until you purposely try to let the spine decompress vertebrae by vertebrae that you're getting actual paraspinal strength. Not to mention the full big muscles of the erectors under a little bit of range. So it's both good. When you go body weight, you can definitely get more intentional lumbar work. And my spine goes through a deeper range, more control, and I can have a say better. When the weight's up here, because of the nature of me holding the bar here too, my shoulder blades are retracted, my upper back's engaged like a row. So it's really glutes, 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 and then here is when I have to round. I really can't round at the top at all, where body weight, I can intentionally work on that. So that's why there's benefits to it all. I train iso holds body weight, train a single leg, I train weighted iso holds, I train weighted, sometimes dumbbells, I train weighted on the back. I mix it up because there's just a lot of different angles. It's the same thing as variants of squats. There's front squat, there's back squat, there's a slanted, complete upright squat, there's a sissy squat, and it's just different peak forces on different joints depending what you need. So, 1 on top of the morning. I'm gonna take a good break and then I'm going for my big drop set, 20 reps. It's a little bit over a third of my body weight, so just trying to feel something, you know? I don't do therapy, I just do high rep sets. Just kidding, I also do therapy. I've never done this. So, pretty bold on my 11 set to go for it. Oh. Fuck. Just tapped out. I was 18. You know, it's good to miss sometimes. Just to not give off the illusion of perfect, you know what I mean? Steph Curry misses sometimes, just to let people know, hey, I'm human. He doesn't have to. He just does it to be relatable. Just didn't want to make y'all feel bad, you know? Oh, so close. Oh my God. Yeah, that one was a soreness inducer. That's why I'm gonna feel it tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. After that much back extension, without the slant, it requires a lot more low back. Nothing wrong with that if you're fresh, but my low back's fried, so I want just quads. Stick with slant. Some people start to feel the nerve tension and static or tingling. Just keep in mind, you do not have to lean forward. I had people lie all the way down before when the nerve pain was that sensitive, but you can sit back. Puts less stretch on the nerves. going on the easier level, dropping to the elbow. I'm fried. I could do it, but I'm not feeling that kind of intensity right now. Doesn't feel smart. My body should be completely straight line from the ankle to the head. Gotta remind myself too. Ooh. Here we go. Itching like a crack fiend. Damn hip circuit's so good. I need it. I think you really should start on the elbow just to keep the body completely straight. Honestly, maybe that's the smart form forever because it's measurable without your spine bending. It's not as hard, but maybe that's where the ankle weights come in. Just always stay straight line. Kind of makes sense, but definitely if you're sensitive to the spine, if you're not rounding forward, not doing reps and back extension, you don't want to be doing a side rep like this. It's helped a lot of people already. This is just the behind the scenes, guys. I'm always questioning my own shit. Like literally every session, I'm looking for a new variation. I'm looking for a new regression, not because I'm afraid of the boring basics, just because when someone complains of an exercise that has worked for most people, but then they have a tweak or they get sensitive, like I want to understand more of what could be missing or what I'm not seeing, or a new way to regress it, a new way to make it harder. So sometimes I worry my thought process might scare people off, like, isn't this the program he's promoting and he's like still questioning it a year in? Yeah. That is called actual progress. The false expertise of showing no process of questioning and refining. That's to maintain authority, not accuracy. So why am I ranting? No need. Still gets me. When I'm already cooked, towards the end of the workout, this still gets me. I love it. If you're new here, this is the outer hip drop set where you do 30 seconds at each hold. First one, just internal rotation. Then the second hold, you do internal rotation and abduction. So you're rotating and lifting. And then the third one is just lift. So it's called a mechanical drop set. If you've ever done a drop set, normally say you do curls, you do 30 pounds, immediately into 20, into 10, you're dropping the weight. With a mechanical drop set, it's not dropping weight, but it's going to an easier intensity. So the rotation's the hardest, this one's a little easier, this one's the easiest. But because you're doing it immediately after fatiguing on the previous one, it doesn't feel easier. You could do this on some upper body days, it's a good one. Do shoulder press with like, pick your weight. Pick something that's pretty challenging. Say 50 pounds, I don't know. Shoulder press, 10 till failure. Put the bench immediately to an incline bench. Then you do incline press, same weight. And you immediately put the bench to flat bench, same weight. That's the mechanical drop set. So, ended up being a really good way to get a crazy pump in the outer glute without motion. If it's flaring up and all touchy, you need that pump, but in a way that won't cause it any pain the next day. So. All right, y'all. See you at home. All right. So, not in the car for the post-game interview. The camera died. So now we're at home, and I'm going to, you know the deal, give out our long game. So at the end of every episode, if you make it this far, I want you to comment long game in the comment section because it means a lot to me simply because if you watch a full uncut length training vlog of mine, I don't think anyone's training is that interesting, to be honest. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I don't like people vicariously living through me. That's not what this is for. But I post all of it because I know that one, when you're injured in that state, it does give you something to look forward to in 2-3 years. Wow, this guy really climbed from unable to tie his shoe to bending forward with 100 pounds on his neck. That's crazy. I can find hope in just watching that. But two, I know that I drop little wisdom through the training and little nuances that may not make it in the program yet as I'm trying stuff. And I don't know when it'll come. So I just filmed the whole workout. And honestly, to keep up with the editing of all that to make it super crisp, it's just not worth it to me to worry about perfection in this format with YouTube. Because if you need it, you're going to watch it. And that's evident by the people that make it all the way here at the long game part of the episode. So it means a lot to me because if you watch through the end, it's not just engagement or you think I'm interesting. It's because I know you must be in your own low back journey, and this just matters a lot to you. So because of that, if you comment long game at the end of the episode, I get to get a little bit more familiar with who's in here and start to put some names and familiarity in these usernames. And secondly, we also pick one person every episode to shout them out and give them a little bit of their flowers and also celebrate them for whatever stage and step they're on in the long game. So if you're not a member yet in the program, sign up. I'm shamelessly going to plug it in every single time. It's pay what you want, even if it's just to check out the community, get chatting, or to flip through the program, see the organized structure of what I float through in these workouts. You can see it from step 1 to rebuild your own low back. That's lowbackability.com. So let's go through this and see who we got here. I've seen a lot of good ones. All right. I found a good one. Onil Dillig, 60. ONILDILIG 60. 2 days ago said long game and a little bit of his story. He's 53 years old, 30 years of back pain, plus neck, elbows, and knees. I can easily say I gave up and think it's over. But I'm so thankful I found your channel 4 months ago, right after I had my worst episode of low back pain. I'm not in your program, but I watch all your videos. All right, wait. I might have to revoke. It's all good, dude. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're learning. And if it means a lot to you, I think you'll love it even more on the inside. Yeah, you don't have to be ready to train to join the membership because you could sign up for $2 and you could just float and be a fly on the wall and get the gist of what the vibe is in there and also go through the education modules and start to teach yourself sort of the principles behind the movements because that's going to matter a lot once you really get training. So there's no time to wait. Get in there, man. But for real, he had some good wisdom in here. I'm thankful I found your channel and doing something different from the traditional work I did in the past that didn't work. Keep going, guys. To all in their 20s, don't give up. You still have a lot of time. For the older guys, we have nothing to lose, especially if you've tried everything. Do this when we are still able to do it and hope for the best. God heals. Remember that also. But we need to stay in this for the long game. Thanks, Brendan, for sharing your experience and knowledge. Appreciate it. You're the man. Onil Dillig, 60. Today is your day. Please flood it in the comments. This is something I wanted to add because I think it's dandy and beautiful that we got long game comments and everyone's in here showing that they're here. But I do ask, if you watch this episode and we're shouting out last episodes, the only way this is going to work is if at least some of us engage in this celebration of the person of the day. We can't all put in raffle tickets to be person of the day and then not clap for the person who gets chosen. It's not about like a pick me raffle. This is really meaningful. Like, we are all in this shit together one way or another to some degree. So throw some comments in, let them know you're rooting for them. You don't have to put an essay, just even if it's a word, even if it's just a, little snippet. Because when it's your day and you get picked, it's not going to be crickets for you. And you'd be surprised how much it can make a difference in your spirit for the day, getting seen and heard by someone that matters to you, not just a celebrity or something, but in a place where you're usually not understood with your pain, here you are, and let's make the whole day about you. So that's my only ask. Whoever we pick, let's clap it up for them. So thank you, man. We appreciate you. We know it's an isolating journey, and the wisdom from someone who is almost twice my age from 1 year away. Not everyone's as open and receptive to learning about something like back pain from someone in their mid to late 20s, so it speaks volume, and it shows a lot of other people of younger age from you to not feel hopeless and to pity themselves. If you're breathing, don't be grieving. Let's get growing. You reap what you're sowing. All right, I'm done. Speaking of reap and sow, the last thing I want to say before we hop up out of here is just to remind you that eventually, when you're on a journey like this and you're going for the major delayed gratification of long game, eventually the output has to match the input. So what that means is if you take a new focus and a new approach and you're putting in deposits and you're not getting wrecked, like you are having successful sessions of this back extension progression and you are getting decent hip mobility work that isn't wrecking you, like it's productive, you're not going to feel your body unlock in a week. But these deposits will matter in a month, in 6 months, and onward. And eventually, this is the law of fill in the blank. Universe, yin yang, a chi, God, etc., all the above. None of them, whatever you believe, whatever you don't. Don't come in here with the drama. But whatever it is, it seems like there's a law that eventually the output has to match the input. If it is a pure input, if it's intentional, if it's not from a negative place, if it's not rushed, if it's not false, if you are doing good work on your body and you are alive, you have some level of regenerative properties. There is healing. There are specific cells designed to try to heal these tissues. And there's specific pathways that can be rewired in synapses. Our brain is still plastic, meaning flexible in the way it fires and even the way that it heals, and structurally, your brain can change in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's not over when your frontal lobe's developed. It slows down or whatever, but regardless of the nerdy stuff, your central nervous system's ready for change, your tissue's ready for change. All that it's going to take is discipline, coherence with your body, a proper communication that isn't dissociating or masking through pain meds and avoidance, and then trust in this process of being almost a vessel. Whatever you put in will eventually come out. Like, you have to trust that. Because if you're checking every week, am I getting better? I'm not. You're going to sit in anxiety, and that slows this whole thing down. I could tell you. It's the hardest thing to tell someone not to have anxiety when they're so skeptical already being in here. But if you're in your first month, I need you to just give it up. I need you to literally just close your eyes and just stick to the process that I'm teaching you about, which is beyond just the exercises. It's this whole approach, this whole hands-off. I'm doing the work, but I'm hands-off to what happens in between sessions. I'm working on being peaceful, being restful, being trusting, learning. Things may not be perfect, and I'll take tweaks as I go, because this isn't a perfect blueprint for everybody. This is a direction, but trust that the input eventually will influence the output. The time in between, not our business, not up to us. It can fluctuate just because, I don't know why, the weather, age, etc., your overall state of being and your healing potential because you are stressed or pregnant or emotionally not doing great for a decade, whatever it is, right? Even if you have slower healing, you're healing. Even if you're older and you're trying to heal, you can heal. So just remember that on the days it doesn't seem it's fast enough, or you're having trouble with this concept of compounding effects, daily deposits, all these cute sayings. It's like, where's the fucking science, right? I don't got it for you, but what I do have is evidence of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people at this point. I haven't counted. Lots of people who didn't think they were going to heal that have. And the thing many of them have in common that they will admit is that eventually they reached a point where they just started trusting the output's going to reflect the input. So do the work. Stop counting on it to work so fast. Don't worry about that. Be happy with any micro progress, because that emotion of gratitude and excitement, getting to go to the gym to work on your outer hip drop set to make it 1 second longer, no matter how silly it is, that's a better signal to your body anyways, and you're going to sleep better. You're going to be ready to wake up a little bit happier, even if it's 0.1%. And that's what we need more than checking, is my hip good? Is my hip good? And I'm speaking because I've been there. So sorry for, this may sound like some Brendan motivation ASMR. I don't know how this mic sounds yet, but I'm preaching at y'all. I hate doing that. Sorry. We got to deal with it. Put these videos out for free. The only catch is you got to listen to these rambles every now and then. But yeah, long game. Comment it if you're still here. You're a real one. I want you to know I'm speaking through the camera as if it's a fucking person, and I've reached that point with this machinery to realize it's not a camera. It's a person, and I appreciate you being here. This gives me purpose, and this gives me a lot of closure with my past pain that seems senseless, and I know you can get that. So we're cool here, you and I. I appreciate this thing we got going on. This is a new podcast setup too, if you're curious about it. Our whole team spent the whole past 4 days laboring in IKEA building it. So we're going to post a lot of stuff from here. Tomorrow's another day. Keep it training. Long game. You know the deal. Comment it. I'll see you next time. Peace.